I call these my spice cabinet fragrances. Fragrances with light touches of mulling spices, citruses, but perfect for the fall and winter time. If you're looking for a cozy set of fragrances to transition from the summer to fall period, these are some excellent options because not only do they have these compelling spices, but they're also not so overwhelming that you'll find them cloying and overbearing in the kind of transition period between seasons. If this is your first time watching this channel, hello, my name is Anya. I love fragrances. I talk about them here every single weekday, Monday through Friday. Yes, that is 5 times a week. And I also publish additional content on TikTok and Instagram under the username ANECHKAFRAGRANCES. If you're also interested in fragrance history, I run a podcast on the subject talking about beauty and fragrance history called The Fragrance Report. I launch a new episode of this podcast every single Wednesday on Spotify and on YouTube. And if you're trying to be a little bit more mindful with your fragrance spending, if you're trying to find a better way to track what's already in your collection, highly recommend you download my fragrance collection log and expense tracker. It's available in my Stan store. So yes, I've had a selection of these really interesting, compelling fragrances with mulling spices, but since it's been so hot lately, I have only really been able to start playing around with these perfumes and wearing them again around this time of year. And a lot of these fragrances are perfumes that are not necessarily widely known. So I figured, let me just shop my stash, shop my collection, and introduce you to some perfumes that I've had for a while, but I need to bring new life to. These are perfumes that are really compelling, really unique, good options for this time of year that I am really excited to share with you. So let's get started. The first fragrance I have to share with you is Flashback in New York by the brand Olfactive Studio. This is a brand that focuses on creating fragrances inspired by photography. So all their perfumes have like this photography inspiration, and of course this one is inspired by New York City. So the interesting thing about this perfume is that in my mind it is really focused on the cumin here. So this is what I'd also call a spice cabinet perfume, hence the name of this video, or the concept of this video. But this is very much focused on the cumin, but it also has like a papyrus note, which gives it a bit of an earthiness. It's a really interesting, kind of like nuanced, compelling perfume. This is going to be for those of you who like earthy fragrances, because it does really heavily like kind of go into that realm, so to speak. So basically, this perfume has saffron, cumin, linen, and clary sage at the top, a mid of leather, violet, and jasmine, and then a base of birch, papyrus, vetiver, and tonka bean. So yeah, definitely get the papyrus, and the reason I say that is because like I do have another fragrance that has a similar earthiness, and I do perceive that as coming from the papyrus, but this also has cumin. And it has leather too, but personally, I don't get the leather that much. I get more of the earthiness. And yeah, this is like in the opening, you get the cumin. You get like the kind of like the soft spiciness, but then as it dries down, you start to get more of like that woodiness at the base, which I really do quite like. And this is definitely a unique fragrance in my collection. There's really nothing quite like it in my collection currently. It's not going to be, how do I say, it's not going to be like a beginner-friendly fragrance in the sense that I wouldn't suggest blind buying it. I would suggest getting the Discovery set. They do have this available in the Discovery set, and I do have a code available with the brand Anya 10, so you can check it out, because this is more of like an advanced scent profile. You have to like earthy fragrances to like this, but if you like cumin, this is definitely going to be a fragrance to check out, because it is quite compelling and quite lovely, and it has a lightness to it that makes it very versatile for this time of year as well. This fragrance focuses on notes like cardamom, mulling citruses. I'm talking, of course, about Deadly Nightcap by Curatrix. This is a perfume that really celebrates like notes like gin, Campari. In fact, it has top notes of Campari, cardamom, and orange, a mid of gin, juniper berry, and cypress, and then a base of vetiver, cedarwood, and fir. So this perfume to me has quite a bit of cardamom in the opening. But this is like a very like kind of like mulling spices or mulling citrus kind of fragrance. It's really compelling. It has kind of like an almost like berry tone. I guess like that's where the juniper berry comes from, but it's also kind of like, I get the Campari interpretation as well. It's a very unique fragrance. It's kind of like a fall appropriate mulling spices-esque, or mulling spices and citruses-esque perfume. It's beautiful. Like this is giving cozy fall vibes without like the cookie cutter stereotype of what a fall fragrance can be, which is of course like pumpkin spice-esque scent profile, if that makes any sense. Like, this is just like unique and a bit different. This is a different take on a fall appropriate scent. So again, this is Curatrix. This is a brand that's a bit more indie niche, but they have some really compelling scent kind of options, and I like how they really experiment and really test a lot of boundaries with their releases, and this is definitely no exception. I think that this is going to be like one of my new favorite scents for this fall because like it's very cozy and citrusy, but it's not like citrusy in a summer way. It's like there's like some depth to it, which makes it more appropriate for the fall time, in my opinion. So Deadly Nightcap by Curatrix. And then we have another perfume that has mulling citruses. This time we have J.U.S' Spritzelove. This is inspired by a spritz, like an Aperol spritz, I believe, but it does have, like, in my opinion, mulling citruses. So this basically has notes of bitter orange and petitgrain at the top, a mid of vetiver and saffron, and then a base of amberwood and oud. Personally, I don't get the oud that much, but I guess it contributes to like the woody base. But yeah, this is zesty. It's zesty bitter orange. You can get the rind, you can get the bitter orange. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, this is very focused on that citrusiness, but it's like you can clearly tell that this is kind of like a bitter orange citrus. So it's a different take on Curatrix. Curatrix is more like focused on like the kind of like the berry undertones of like the Campari, for instance, but J.U.S.'s version is way more focused on like the bitter orange. So two different takes on like mulling citruses, both excellent options. J.U.S, I think I have a discount code for them, and I can't remember if I have one for Curatrix or not, but these are both great options if you're looking for like a slightly more unique take on a fall scent profile. I also want to show you a fragrance that I haven't worn in quite some time. I wore this at the beginning of the year, and like actually, yeah, no, I got this like a few months ago, and I knew when I got it that this would be like the fall fragrance to wear. This is Sheridan's Iris Coffee, and I can tell you right now, this is like a green cardamom with iris and coffee, and like I was waiting to wear it for this time of year because this is one of those perfumes that just like the kind of scent profile that this is in my mind appropriate for the colder weather because it's like that cozy kind of fragrance that in the warm weather can get a little bit overwhelming because of like the composition of this. This perfume has notes of coffee, iris, orris root, cardamom, tonka bean, white musk, bergamot, and jasmine. Like I said, what I get with this is a kind of like dry green cardamom. It smells like you just like opened a bag of cardamom pods and just like took a whiff, and then there's like coffee next to you, and the iris gives it like a soft powdery nuance as well. But yeah, this is a really kind of like I said, mulling spices kind of fragrance. Beautiful. Definitely giving definitely giving spice covered vibes. It's cozy. It's cozy. Yeah, this is the kind of thing you want to cuddle up to. Yeah, but you have to like cardamom to like this. And sometimes, like, here's the thing, right? With all these spices, some of us like might be drawn to like certain spices, others might not be. And I do appreciate it when we use other spices other than cinnamon, for instance, which I feel like cinnamon can be used in so many fragrances, and you could argue that it is a bit overdone. What I prefer are like the mulling spices, or like the spice-covered spices. You know, I feel like those add a sense of nuance. Those create like those, when added to fragrances, create like a more intriguing scent profile that I rather love. So yeah, Iris Coffee. This is Extrait de Parfum by Sheridan. Next up, I have one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I have Basilica by Milano Fragranze. Such an iconic perfume. I adore this perfume. This is gorgeous. Like, This is so different from the other fragrances I've mentioned in this video because it has a lactonic note in here, which translates to something that's bread-like, and it has za'atar kind of esque seasoning spices as well, like rosemary and thyme. Not like trying to equate those with za'atar, which is a completely different spice, but like it kind of like leans a little bit za'atar, like in the way that I smell it here, and the lactonic nature of this fragrance makes it seem like bread. So like, essentially, it makes me think that I'm eating za'atar bread in a church because there's also incense in here. See how like, see where my mind goes? Like I just, here's the thing, right? Okay, I met the founder of Basilica at Essence like 2 years ago. All right. I walk up to her and like I didn't open up with this, but I was like, I love Basilica, and I was like, it smells like eating za'atar bread in a church, and she was like, huh? And like, she didn't say it like that. She was more polite about it, obviously, but I was like, that was clearly my own independent interpretation. I do not think that was the inspiration whatsoever, but it's so fascinating how we all have like our own independent like interpretations of what a fragrance could be, right? So this fragrance has notes of thyme and rosemary at the top, a mid of milk, incense, and lavender, and then base of woodiness, Virginia cedar, cypriot oil, or nagarmotha. But yeah, I adore this perfume so much. I want to wear it today. I think this was like one of the very first niche fragrances I ever bought, and it still is one of my favorites to this day. Like, look at this dent. It's beautiful. And like something that I like, will continue to note is like how beautiful and high quality the bottle is. Like it's heavy, the cap is weighted, and it's magnetic, which I love. Like there's so much attention to detail here, and it's beautiful. It's lovely. I love this fragrance so much. It's a very comforting scent to me. I adore this perfume. Again, Basilica by Milano Fragranze. So yeah, those were the 5 fragrances I wanted to share with you in this video. Spice-covered perfumes, mulling, flavorings kind of perfumes. Let me know, what are the perfumes you're super excited to wear for this fall? Are there any spicy scents that you are looking forward to reintroducing in your rotation? I'm curious to hear your thoughts down below. As always, thank you so much for watching till the end, and I'll see you next time. Bye!